In the world of fandom decoding, the most thrilling moments rarely happen center stage. They slip in quietly, hiding behind the lens, waiting for those patient enough to notice. This Thanksgiving, as Sparkle's dinner photos made their gentle way online, the excitement wasn't in what was shown, but in what was missing. There was Barbie, there was David, and unmistakably, they were not standing next to each other. To some, it was nothing more than a seating choice. To Bard Nation, it was a clue dressed as coincidence. Because sometimes the greatest tension isn't created by closeness, but by distance. When two people move quietly, when they don't announce themselves, the story deepens. Pretend you're far apart, pretend nothing's happening, and suddenly the silence starts to speak. Behind the camera, away from the rigid choreography of group photos, there's room for something real, low-key, understated, and full of a love that doesn't need an audience. If this kind of decoding speaks your language, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. These quiet moments deserve a place to be heard. Look at the photos again and ask yourself this. With so many guests in the room, why do your eyes still search for Barbie and David first? It's because their energy cuts through the crowd. Even when they do nothing, it feels like something. A simple glance, a subtle shift, a calm stillness that somehow carries more thrill than grand gestures ever could. On camera, they're positioned apart, polite, composed, almost deliberately unconnected. But behind the scenes, connection doesn't require proximity. Real bonds don't cling. They don't announce themselves with forced closeness. Sometimes they sit comfortably in the knowledge that there's no need to prove anything at all. They don't need to be glued together to know exactly where they stand. And maybe that's the point. Maybe there's an unspoken rule, a quiet agreement not to share the same frame. Not because there's distance, but because there's something worth protecting. In a world hungry for public displays, restraint becomes the loudest declaration. For those who understand Kilig coding, BarDa doesn't fade in silence, it sharpens. No public displays of affection are required, no matching posts, no carefully timed captions. All that's needed is understanding, the kind that doesn't rush, doesn't perform, and doesn't seek validation. When two people move in sync without being seen together, that's not weakness, that's confidence. If you're enjoying this analysis, take a moment to like the video, share it with fellow fans, and subscribe for more stories hidden between the frames. At the end of the day, it truly doesn't matter whether they stand side by side in front of a camera. Photos are frozen moments, not full truths. The real story of BarDa lives elsewhere. In silent signals, in restrained laughter, in small, ordinary details like shared glances, familiar comfort, and a Thanksgiving wrapped in quiet. Sometimes love doesn't shout, sometimes it simply exists, patient and certain, waiting for those who know how to listen.